Hi, my name is Venus O'Hara and welcome to another video. Today I wanted to talk about my favourite subject, which is, of course, female orgasm. And more specifically, I wanted to talk about whether female orgasm is an act of rebellion or not. And I was inspired to make this video because a friend of mine, who I would describe as a feminist poet, wrote this on an Instagram post, and I'm going to link to this post in the description below if you'd like to read the whole post for yourselves. And it says, "The female orgasm is an act of rebellion. Every orgasm, shared or solitary, is a statement against a system that has kept female sexual liberation closed in the fists of power." Well, I thought this was very interesting, and I thought I would share my thoughts about rebellious orgasms with you. So rebellious orgasms. Well, when I started my whole venture in sex blogging about 10 years ago, I definitely think it was coming from a place of rebellion. Everything I did, every photo I took, it was, I was angry. And I was angry against a lot of things because I've received a very kind of restrictive Catholic upbringing, and I just feel that even in a liberal world, I think there's a fake idea of sexual liberation. I don't think there's a true liberation. I think liberation is about tapping into power. It's not necessarily about promiscuity and, I don't know, just pleasure. I think it goes beyond that. But yeah, definitely I can identify with that phrase of female orgasm being an act of rebellion. I think it was for me too. And I think definitely the beginning when I was getting very into sex toys, and it was kind of a rebellion against the idea that I had to have a man to provide me with sex, and I was thinking, no. I remember there's a phrase in a Tori Amos song, "Why should I take from his body when I can take from mine instead?" I think that's from a song called Icicle, which is about masturbation. And when I first heard that song, I was thinking, wow, this is amazing. And so for me, I was definitely enjoying my body on my own. And even though I enjoyed sex with people, I didn't necessarily enjoy the emotional impact that that could have. So I wanted to have no strings attached sex, no strings with other people, and just to keep the strings to myself, as it were. And even in my act of rebellion, I think many years ago I used to work in a printing company, and that's how all my whole erotic journey began, because I was printing erotic books for publishers in France and in the UK. So a lot of women in my office were not at all supportive, because I would say the most judgment I've received from my job has actually been from women. So the actual demographic I'm trying to liberate is the one that's been the harshest on me, actually. So I wouldn't say everyone, but obviously there've been some women who just don't want to be liberated, I guess. And even in my job as in the printer, women used to look at these books that I was printing like, oh, I was really scandalous there. They're like, oh, let me have a look, you know. So, and I kind of enjoyed that, actually. I enjoyed provoking them sometimes. And when I had spare books, because there are always spare books in printing, and in the printing factory we could always keep the samples, and samples were kind of for marketing purposes or for personal purposes if they were fun books like the ones I was printing. So I used to go to the women and say, hey, would you like one, just to kind of provoke them and see their reactions. And this provocation of mine almost, it got to the point where it became an integral part of my sexual fantasies. I used to fantasize about being in my then office, being on the floor next to the photocopier and just masturbating and coming and just and thinking of all these women who hated me. So definitely those orgasms were an act of rebellion, but not necessarily against female sexual repression. That wasn't something that got me off in the moment. I was thinking about different types of rebellion. It's kind of like a sick, I don't know, I wouldn't say it was the healthiest stimulus for an orgasm. However, now I've completely changed in these, over these 10 years. I'm still having lots and lots of orgasms, but my intention behind my orgasms has changed dramatically. And especially in the last 3 or 4 years, and I've gone through a profound spiritual awakening, a Kundalini awakening. These days, I realize that energy, well, it's not, I wouldn't say it was limited, but it kind of is, and thoughts are limited. And I'm seeing the power of thought and energy. Let's say if you have X number amount of thoughts per day, spending a large percentage of those thoughts on rebellion, I think, is a bit of a waste of energy. I prefer to use my energy towards things that are more beneficial and are not going to take so much out of me, because being a rebel, it's kind of tiring after a while. And I think now I'm all about the love. I'm all about the love, and love is a much higher vibration, it's a higher frequency, and it's not draining at all. So now when I have an orgasm, I'm not thinking about those women in the office, the ones who hated me. I'm thinking about any intention that I might have, or even reaching out to people and helping them, and it's always with a good intention. Always with a good intention. And I think you can get further in life if you have good intentions. But at the same time, being rebellious and frustrated with something is definitely an incentive to want to change something. So I'm definitely glad that I did have those rebellious orgasms back in the day. But now I'm happy to have a different kind of orgasm, a different type of intention. And I just want to spread the love now. Yeah. So I'm definitely upgrading my orgasm. So I think I've kind of invented my own scale of orgasms, and right on the bottom would be orgasm just for pleasure, and just closing the pleasure gap, because I think women have been punished a lot in that sense, and we are potentially more orgasmic and multi-orgasmic, but we've been conditioned to believe that we shouldn't be sexual, and that's something that definitely frustrates me and definitely motivates me to be an orgasm activist. Anyway, I would love to hear your thoughts about this. Do you think female orgasm is an act of rebellion? Of course, there's no right or wrong answer because it's different for everyone, but still, I would love to hear your thoughts on this, and you can leave a comment in the comment section below. And if you'd like to suggest any more videos about orgasmic living, orgasm, sex toys, or anything related to those topics, then please don't hesitate to contact me at venus@venusohara.org. or you can add me on Instagram at Venus O'Hara. Thanks for watching, and see you next time.